In this video, I want to focus on something that I think is incredibly important for part 2 of the speaking test. I was an IELTS examiner and I've been preparing students for IELTS for over 15 years. And one thing I've noticed is that students do not know how to make notes in the part 2 section of the test. So I'm going to show you how to do this. This is vitally important if you want to get a high grade in IELTS. So we're going to look at this topic, which is describe an activity you do to keep healthy. Before you start speaking in part 2, you have 1 minute to make notes. In this 1 minute, it is vital you focus on language and not content. Let's take a look at how you can do this. What 99%, probably go as far as saying 99.9% of the IELTS candidates that I've seen do when making notes is this. And then the IELTS examiner says, "Can you start talking now, please?" And you have written 3 sentences. Why is this wrong? Well, firstly, you've just copied down language from the question. You have the card in front of you. There is no need to write down activity that I do to keep healthy. It's on the card. Secondly, you don't have time to write the answer word for word. You cannot write a script and then just read from that script. And finally, when you do this, you're focusing on content. That means what you are saying, not language, how you are saying it. The IELTS speaking exam is quite different to the IELTS writing exam. The speaking exam is purely an exam of language. You are not marked on content. You're marked on the language that you produce. So you need to take a different approach to making notes. What you should do is write down keywords, but only write down keywords that use complex language. For example, so all of these are keywords that I would be able to write down in the 1 minute preparation time. And why is this better? Well, firstly, it's complex language. It's the kind of language that's going to get you into the band 7 for lexical resource. Secondly, you can then take these words and phrases and put them into sentences. So, for example, the sport I'm talking about is swimming. I'm not very good at diving in. It's something I tried to learn to do many years ago, but I've never mastered this skill. So I can look at those words and get 2 or 3 sentences connected with these words. And you're focusing on the language here, and it's the language that gets you the high grades, not the content. So what I recommend you do for all of the part 2s that we look at in this course is to just focus on the key words, focus on the language and note those down. So if you get these topics in your IELTS speaking test, immediately the key words and phrases will come into your head, and these are the things that are going to get you high grades in IELTS speaking.